Welcome to another edition of the Mark Martin Automobile Showcase Show, and it's so different. I'm David Black. This is Mark Martin. We have no idea where Mooney Star is today. Maybe he'll be along a little while here in the program. But, Mark, good to see you, my friend.
Thank you, David.
We thought it would be a great idea to get an opportunity to talk to you and let you tell the folks about Mark Martin Fan Days that's coming up this month. And it's always a huge celebration at the Mark Martin dealerships. Tell us a little bit about it.
It is. It's our 14th annual. So we've been doing this a long time. We have great folks coming from everywhere, all over the country for it every year. And this year we're going to have it at the Power Sports Store on Friday, and we're going to be cooking lunch for everybody there. And of course, we do autographs and take photos and all kinds of activities through the day. And then that evening, we're going to head out to Batesville Motor Speedway to watch the Comp Cam's late models race out there.
Right, going to be a race.
Yes,
going to be a race.
It's going to be fun. And then Saturday, as tradition holds, we have fan appreciation here at the museum and Ford store. Same kind of thing. We'll be feeding everybody lunch, hanging out, autographs and photographs, and all kinds of activities. And I'm excited to say I've got Jack Roush.
Wow.
And my crew chief, Jimmy Fenig, both coming in Saturday evening, the 28th, from 6 to 7:30 to sign autographs and talk some old racing stories. And I'm really excited about that. It's late in the evening because they've got to be at Talladega that day for qualifying and for the Xfinity race. So that's going to be really, really a treat to have them here and part of our program, because I'm sure that we're going to have a lot of good stories to tell.
Well, we want everybody that's within earshot or that can see this particular piece. We invite you to come either or both of those days, and it's always exciting. And the great thing is that it's free to the public. Anybody can come. We're going to feed you. We're not going to charge anything to feed you.
That's
and
right.
There's literally hundreds and thousands of people that have been down through the years. Let me ask you this, Mark. How did this get started 14 years ago? You mentioned you've been doing it, and it's always been a success. How did this thing get going?
Well, I just wanted to do something to get back to the fans and have something. I'm a proud Arkansan.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to give back to my fans and to bring. I've had every champion you can think of here to sign autographs. So the people in Arkansas and locally around here have had the opportunity to get Richard Petty's autograph,
yes,
Bobby Allison, Buddy Baker, of course, Matt Kenseth and Kurt Busch and Bill Elliott.
You bet.
Every champion you can think of has been here. Jeff Gordon, Danica Patrick.
Right. Yeah.
The list goes on. I can't even name them all because there have been so many through the years. But, I thought that was something that I could do that would be special for the people here locally. Was give them a chance to actually get a picture taken with one of their heroes.
Absolutely great. Got to ask you this, and matter of fact, about a month ago, I had mentioned to somebody. I said, well, we got to go Monday to film a car show at Mark Martin Ford, and they went, Mark Martin, race car driver. and I thought, there's a lot more to Mark Martin than being a race car driver. First of all, tell us how you got into race car driving. Let's talk a little bit about race car driving. You were a young guy. You were a kid when you started. Talk a little bit about that.
I was a kid. Well, I really wanted to race motocross. I wanted to race motorcycles. I got a motorcycle when I was 10 years old, and was a motorcycle enthusiast, but that wasn't the safest. And my parents were very unconventional, and most people would think they were pretty wild and reckless, but they wanted to protect their little boys, so
right.
They pushed me toward four wheels. And my dad and I were fast car enthusiasts of every kind, drag racing and all, and we had gone to some stock car races and whatnot, and at the end of 1973, I was out here at Batesville Speedway, the last race of the year, and I looked up at him, and we were in the pits. I said, let's build me one of these things for next year.
Wow.
And, we've got the car, we got the second car we ever built from 1975, and the trailer it was towed on here in the museum.
Here in the museum.
So, the first car kind of went to the crusher, but we did find the second car and restored it, and so it's here. And there's 40 years of history here,
Yes, sir.
of my racing history and the history of all the people that ever lend a hand to a race car, was a volunteer worker or raced against me. You know, there's photographs everywhere of all that kind of stuff. So we're really proud of what we have here. You know, it's 40 years of racing history.
Well, there's no doubt, and as we invite you, the 27th and the 28th, the Mark Martin Fan Days. If you've never been to Mark Martin Fan Days, we want you to come, but if you don't do anything else, make sure you come to the museum. You talk about history. I mean, it's history from when you were a kid. There's written notes that you kept up with a diary when you were a young guy. There are race cars that you have won IROC series with. I mean, it's amazing what is in this museum right here in Batesville, Arkansas. So much racing history that is a nationwide and really a worldwide sport right here in Batesville, Arkansas. All because of Mark Martin and your talents and your work crew that got us to where we are today. But beautiful facility here, no doubt.
I'm proud to have all that stuff here in Batesville. This is where I'm from, and it was my intention to bring it all back home after we got done collecting the hardware. And I'm really proud to have it here. I'm a proud Arkansan. And most of the cars on display here are milestone career cars. There's a story behind almost every one of these cars. My first NASCAR win ever is right behind me,
Wow.
1989.
Wow.
My very final Winn-Dixie sponsored Busch Gray National car right off the racetrack from the final race at Homestead. IROC Championship, the 5th IROC Championship winning car right off the racetrack. It hasn't even been cleaned.
Wow.
The 2002 Coca-Cola 600 winning car, which we won. You know, we won $1 million, and we won a fan.
Right.
A fan won $1 million that night
Wow.
as well. The 2005 All-Star winning car is on display here. That we won the 2005 All-Star race with the car and the photos and the trophies and everything. So. Big, you know, there's a lot of milestone vehicles here. My second ever race car and trailer that we hauled it on, and just a lot of cool stuff.
What does Mark Martin do with his time now that you're off the racetrack as such? And of course, you devoted your life to that. And but you're a busy man. You stay busy. Tell us what Mark Martin does these days.
Busiest retired guy I could ever dream of being. I stay really busy. A lot of times it seems like I'm helping other people.
Right.
Helping people, you know, promoting good causes.
Sure.
You know, we're involved in a charity and in a foundation. We're trying to do good things for the young people in Independence County, and we are.
Absolutely,
Doing some great things with that, and I just stay busy. I really do. I still have a passion for the weight room, so I still hit the weights 5 days a week in the mornings, and I'm digging on something all the time. I'm always on the move.
On the move. Well, I got to ask you this. I mean, we're talking about race cars, and then I'm kind of throw a curveball at you right here. Spartan Mower, the Mark Martin edition Spartan Mower. I saw a piece that you and Robert did and talked about that mower. Tell us how in the world you got into that part of it. Of course, the Mark Martin Power Sports for the last several years, and from boats to ATVs to, lawnmowers, and a lot of things going on there. But Robert Foster, the genius when it comes to building and designing a quad. And we've got a Mark Martin special edition Spartan Mower. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's really cool. Robert Foster is an amazing person. I sure wish that I would have got him hooked up with me in racing, because we would have made it to the Hall of Fame sooner than I did, and he would be a Hall of Famer himself.
Yes,
a
sir.
NASCAR Hall of Famer. If I could have got him focused on race cars instead of mowers, I would have really had a tiger by the tail. I have a lot of respect for his work ethic, and his dedication is parallels mine in my racing career
Yes, sir.
with what he does with the mowers. And Yeah, we've got a signature series with my name on it, which is a double bad to the bone mower. And
it's a machine.
Yeah, it is. It really makes mowing really fun.
It does.
If you dread mowing, you should get one of these because you won't dread it anymore.
Yes, sir. You can get it done, and you can get it done on time, can't you?
You can get it done on time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, all right, Mark, we enjoyed the visit, but remind the folks once again about the 2 days and what's going to be going on.
Yep, it's April 27th and 28th, 14th Annual Fan Appreciation Days. Here at the Power Sports Store and down here at the museum and Ford store as well. All kinds of stuff, free food, lots of fun, autographs, and we're going to have a super treat on the 28th by having Jack Roush and Jimmy Fenig. Jimmy Fenig was my crew chief for over half of my NASCAR Cup wins,
wow.
Which I didn't realize that until I got inducted into the Hall of Fame and we started doing the research. But he was about 2/3 of my wins were nearly
really?
2/3 of them were
wow.
Jimmy Fenig at the helm.
Absolutely. Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
Folks, we invite you 27th and 28th right here in Batesville, Arkansas. Come see us.
That go, I'm nervous wreck. What are you in there talking about balls for?
Well, Mooney, here's the deal. Mooney Star, as always, you see this guy all the time on Saturday mornings at K8. Mooney, I'm sorry. I've got good news and I've got bad news.
What's the bad news? That's what I like.
The bad news is we got a late start today, but that's okay. But the good news is we're still going to do this show.
Oh,
we're going to do this show.
We got it proved. I was eating too. It's still like crackers. Good, man. Hey, I know what y'all's doing probably. Mark, he's talking about fan days.
We were talking about fan days.
Man, he loves that. He likes to come back. I mean, that's what he loves to talk to his fans over the years. It's been some of the same. We got some people come from Michigan, Tulsa. He might have mentioned that, but some of the same people come every year. And he absolutely loves to spend time with them because here's the thing in racing, actually in any business, you're only as good as your fans. Those are the people who pays the bills, just like us. We're as good as our customers. If we don't take care of them, they don't come back, and that's when we got to take care of them.
You do have to take care of them, and Mark did mention that in his part. He said that it's giving back. It's giving back to the community. It's giving back to his fans, and the guy's had a pretty good career, and there's no doubt giving back on fan days, 27th and 28th. We'll mention those again. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit, but I want to talk a little car business. That's what we do. We do cars. Mooney Star, you talk about being in a business for 40-something years, 43 years, 44, how many years now? 43.
42.
42 years.
I started when I was 14-year-old.
Tell us the story. I know you tell it a lot.
I was always a car man. I loved them when I was a kid. I'd wash them. I'd clean my neighbor anyway. I was 14-year-old. My uncle was in Imboden, Arkansas, and he bought a lot of cars from Ford Motor Company, and they had a big flood in Houston.
Okay. And
some cars got water, some cars didn't, but they had to sell them all for flood.
Right.
He went down there and bought over 700. Wow. He was the real deal. Yeah, he was the real deal. He bought 700 cars. So I told him, I said, Uncle Kenneth, I said, I want one of those. I want to clean it up and sell it. I met one car. That's why he got it.
Right, you wanted one.
He dealt in one loads. So I lived in a subdivision in Paragould, and next thing I know, here comes a big transporter. And I said, well, what's going on? And they said, you bought this load? And I said,
I bought a car.
I got $300. So I called him. I said, what are you doing? He said, you said you wanted one. And I said, yeah. He said, I got you one. One load. He said, that's how I sell them. I sell them a load. I said, I can't pay for these. He said, you pay me and you sell them. So, man, I get out after school. I'd clean them cars and check them and make sure and vacuum them and make sure they wasn't wet. And, well, within a week, I'd sold all 7 or 8 of them. Everybody was on a load. And I called him back and I said, hey, I'm sending you money. I sold them. I said, I need another load. And he said, you done sold them? I said, I done sold them. I sold every teacher in school. So everybody. Well, the local Ford dealer at the time was a little upset because he kind of turned me in and said I was misrepresenting them. I wasn't telling people there's flood cars. Everybody that they come back and checked, I told everybody.
Absolutely.
I said, hey, these cars come out of Houston. Some of them's got water, some of them don't. I vacuum them. I got smell good in them. They're good cars. Da-da-da. Everybody was happy. From then on, it was on. So he sent me another load. I sold them, and that got me rolling. Built up my kitty a little bit, and I'm up to, I don't know, I was sitting there making 50 a car. You know, I thought I was rolling. I sold 8 cars, made $40.
There you go. You're loaded.
I was loaded.
Well, you were a high school kid.
Well, I was 14, 15.
Junior high kid, yeah.
So then I said, this is it for me. So I drove a car to school all the time for sale, and I'd get there early. I'd always get there early so I'd get the front parking spot. Park it right there at school at Paragould High School, home of the Bulldogs.
Home of the Bulldogs.
And I'd put that thing right in the front there so people would come in, they'd see it. You know, other kids ride with their mom and dad. Look at that car, you know. I got to selling everybody in my class, everybody in the school, I sold my teachers. So then I put me in a little used car lot in on East Kings Highway in Paragould. And I'd go out to Sonny Roswell's car lot and buy cars on the afternoon after school, and I'd just work from 3 to 6. Then when I graduated, I told my parents, you know, I said, I want to quit school. You know, so I was going to be a car dealer. Oh, man, my mom cried, you know. She said, oh, no, you know, car dealer reputation. But Dad said, oh, you're not going to do that. So anyway, I'm still doing it. But they wouldn't let me quit school to do it. So Rudy Underwood owned the Ford store at that time.
Okay.
And he said, why don't you come here and go to work for me? I said, well, okay. Well, I didn't know that it was on a tailspin. That Ford business was going down. His was. And I really don't remember what all happened, but people in that area might. But I started selling cars there when I was 18. And for about 3 or 4 months. So that fizzled out. So then I ended up, and I worked at City Light and Water as a maintenance, mowing, weed eating all through school. So that way I'd give me some money to buy cars with.
Sure.
And I always worked. I love to work. And to this day, that's my hobby. Some of these guys, some of these people are talking about turkey season, you know. Turkey season's Thanksgiving to me when they put it on the table. I love that butterball there.
Yes, sir.
More butter, the better.
Yes,
you know. But that's when I like it. So, anyway, I forgot where I was at. But I sold cars. I started going to St. Louis as a wholesale. I left every Sunday afternoon. Went to St. Louis, had an apartment up there, stayed up there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, come home on Thursday. And bought and sold cars with some guys and wholesaled cars. And I'd done that my whole life until I come to here and took this job. And that was in 2005 and been here ever since. And one good thing we got, you know, a lot of these stores come in, this manager, that manager, and that. Been here since 05, so it looks like they're going to keep me for a while.
Yeah, I think
y'all had him in here a while ago. I was nervous.
No, you're okay. He said you was all right. You were all right. A man has been in, like I told Mark, he spent a life in racing. You enjoy racing. You're a race guy. Tell us a little bit about the racing part of your life.
Well, you know, my brother-in-law and I owned Batesville Motor Speedway in 1991. Anyway, in 1993, I bought him out. I said my wife and I. And my wife and I have owned it since 1993 until now. So we're starting our 26th year.
Wow.
We have a lot of big events where I say we're not scared to take chances. In that business, you got to take chances. You know, you throw that money out there. I'll never forget. I get out there, and that's my enjoyment, to get away, get out there on a tractor and ride around. Mm-hmm. In 2003, I'm out there riding around on a tractor or using one of my school buses, packing. I'm dreaming of a $100,000 modified race. Right. Anyway, I go over to drive it, and one thing I've always brag about myself, if I tell you something, I do it. Period. We might have to go to the bank and borrow the money because we've had some catastrophes that we've done that for, but I said, I'm going to pay $100,000 to win. So I get up at driver's meeting, and I said, guys, next year I'm having a modified race, $100,000 to win, just for the winter. I got no idea how it could go from my pit area to a quarter of a mile to my wife. Within 3 minutes, she's called me. What in the world? You know, she's mad, you know. Well, here's the bad part.
A lot of money you're giving away, wasn't it?
A lot of money, but I thought I got a year to get some response, so I go out and I find me a sponsor. Well, and it was the Alltel cellular phone business, Alltel 100.
Right.
So they helped me out. We make some money. We have this big race. This is where Mooney talks too much, open my mouth too much. Well, I have this race. Okay, it's a big set. I said only the first 400 cars enter at $300 a car. Boy, I go to the mailbox every day, and there's 300s coming in like that. Well, I got up to 400. My wife said, well, that's it. And I said,
Well, it's kind of hard turning in 300. It's hard turning in at 300.
Yeah, I kept taking them 300, so I got up to 430, and I said, I got to quit because I don't have where to park them. So we had 430 cars from all over the country, British Columbia. They're from everywhere. They're from Toppy Town or crazy places. All right. So we have this race. The CEO of Alltel comes to it. He sticks his hand out, said, Mooney, I want to sign a 10-year deal with this.
Wow.
Well, here's where old Moon starts talking. I said, well, let me explain this. Well, my wife and my banker are behind him going,
Got it!
But I wanted him to know that there wouldn't be 430 cars the next year. There might be 200.
Right.
Because Well, the first time, everybody's going to come to it, but 350 of them cars left with no money.
Right.
So they couldn't keep coming back.
Right.
So I said, let me explain this to you. He said, well, get with me later. So CEOs of major companies you don't get with later because you can't.
Yeah,
so
right.
anyway, I could never get with him. So I really shot myself in the foot because the next year coming, I said, well, forget it. I'll just have it. Well, I went ahead and had it. I had 200-something cars, so $300, it's easy to add, that's 60 grand.
Right.
Plus his check, so it's easy to add, and it didn't work out. So I lost back what I made the year before. And we've had some of those experiences. I wanted to get in the promoting business. I had a Travis Tritt concert. I don't know nothing about music.
Right.
I just sing and have fun. Well, I got a hold of a booking company in Nashville. They hooked me up with Travis Tritt. Well, then you got to have an opening act. Cletus T. Judd. I'd never heard of him either. So I get him. Well, then I've got to rent a stage, and I got to rent lights. And make a long story short, it was a 100% belly flop. I can tell you exactly what I lost because I lost $126,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Travis Tritt wouldn't play to got the ref his money and called my banker. I said, I got to have a loan. I got to pay this money.
Got to get him.
Well, my wife's out there. I heard them, they're rocking. They're enjoying this concert, and I'm mad. They come up to me and they said, would you like to meet Mr. Tritt? The managers. I said, why would I meet him? I can draw more people than he can. 400 people. I don't know what all I done wrong, but I know I done everything wrong.
That's right.
It took me 6 years to pay it off because I put it on a monthly payment that I lost. So big time concerts, I'm out.
Right.
I might go watch one, but I'm sure not going to have one. Big time racing, we're not scared to try because we have the facility. We're known for it in the nationwide. And with this Race for Hope that we started with Mark, man, last year was a hit, and this year is even going to be bigger. We got Arkansas companies getting involved, and it is going to be phenomenal for everybody, for our community, for their foundation, we're raising money, and for everything.
Well, you talk about racing, and that kind of brings me to this part, and you talk about the gambling part of it. You're talking about, it's a gamble when you say, I'm going to invest $100,000 here. It's a gamble. That's kind of like what you like about the car business, and you talk about that on the trade-in from the trade-in side. Because you always say, I'm not scared. I'm not scared because I know what's worth. And if it's a unique piece, you're not afraid to gamble. Not knowing, maybe not knowing in particular what a particular unit's worth, but you do know it's worth a lot more than what most people are going to get for it.
That's exactly right.
That's how you do it.
Because here's what they're going to do. They're going to trade for, let's use this example. I just went and looked at a 2010 F-150 with 28,000 miles.
Right.
My competitors are going to go look at the book value. They're going to see what the book says, and that's what they're going to offer the customer.
Right.
Forget that book.
Yeah.
I know that I can sell that truck to someone because somebody that can't afford a $40,000 truck is going to buy a $20,000 truck.
Right.
I can sell it to them. So I could put 19 grand in that truck and still make 1,000.
Right.
And they're offering 15. I could kill them. That's
Absolutely.
when we slobber knock them. Right
You
there.
slobber knock them. You slobber knock
Let me
them.
tell you what we done. We just come off of a month. We sold 87 used cars right here. Now, to the city guy, that's not like in a little country store.
That is phenomenal.
That's not new numbers. That's just pre-owned, no wholesale. A lot of guys even count their wholesale.
Yeah.
We take 30 a week the auction, so we don't even count it. We sold almost 90 pre-owned cars. That's why we're North Central Arkansas's pre-owned giant. We're putting them in the street. I love to see a car when it goes out that tail light. I like to see the tail lights.
You see Mark Martin stickers, Mark Martin license plates. If you're in Little Rock, you see them. If you're in Jonesboro, you see them. If you're in Searcy, you see them. If you're in Newport, you see them. If you go up in Heber Springs, you see them. You see them everywhere. They're everywhere.
Here's what we got.
You guys are moving them out.
Repeat. That's what we got. We got repeat customers. We got pretty much the same sales staff. We don't have a lot of turnover. You go to most of these city dealers, I call it, and you sell a car, and you go back to ask for that salesman 2 years, he's gone.
Right.
It's all about numbers, and they turn them, and them guys are going. They're like, I don't like that. I like the same guy. I want them to deal with. I want to get a customer for life. And my guys are like that. I get customers for life. And guys that are gone, they're gone for a reason. They're gone for a reason. That's not what we're after. We're after no city slicking, no slobber knocking, giving them more for the trade, taking care of them before the sale, during the sale, and after the sale. And that's what we do, and that's what our reputation built on. And that's the reason we've been successful. We've been here since 2005. We're successful. That's why we sell 125 to 150 cars a month out of here.
Well, we enjoy doing this show, and of course, we do the show in Ash Flat, do this show, and been doing it for several years, and it's been a success for us because we've been able to get the word out of how we trade automobiles because we're going to save you some money.
I'm going to save you money.
We're going to save money.
when I see a car and I go through town, the paper plate on it, and I said, man, people, I could have saved the money.
Yep, sure.
And I know some of them, they've been here and then they left and went somewhere else. They just got out penciled. They didn't beat my deal. They got out penciled, you know. But yeah, we have fun doing this. And I will tell you, I know we're running out of time, so let me tell you this. Here in the last 2 or 3 months, you know, my wife's getting tired of eating eggs, by the way, but I love them. I always tell people eggs are cheaper in the country because, you know, you got a slogan, you stay with it, but we do know that they are. But I've been having a lot of these people bringing me eggs. You know, a guy the other day said, I bet these Glencoe eggs are the best. The guy the other day said, I got some White County eggs down here. He brought me some eggs.
Yes, sir.
I want to tell you something. We've been getting 2, 3, 4, 5 dozen a week, people bringing us eggs.
Yes, sir.
I have eaten more egg omelets in the restaurants I have not went to in the last 6 weeks.
You couldn't go.
Keep bringing them eggs. I'm telling you, I love Tabasco sauce and eggs, and throw some onions in there and whatever else you can find. I love them eggs, but they've been bringing them, and we love them.
I guarantee. All right, tell us again about the Martin Fan Days.
April 27th to 28th. April 27th is going to be on a Friday. It's going to be down at Martin Power Sports. It's going to be right down the road. Food that day, fun, games, all kinds of activities. Then at 8 o'clock that night, Batesville Motor Speedway will be racing Comp Cam's late models that night. Come on out and come to the races. Mark will be out the racetrack. Then on that Saturday, the 28th, food, fun, and games here all day. Everything's free except going to the races, and that's my money. But everything's free here that day. Then that evening, about 6 o'clock, Jack Rouse and Jimmy Fenig. If you remember, Jimmy Fenig was crew chief for years when he drove the Valvoline car. He worked for Jack Rouse. So Jack Rouse, there are going to be some old-time stories. They'll have a question-answer period. You can ask them some questions. They're going to be here. It's our 14th annual year to do that. So he really loves that, and that's good. We're going to be open till 9 o'clock. We've never done it. We're excited because we're doing something different. We're going to be open that Saturday at 9 o'clock. And let me tell you something. While they're going to be in bounce houses jumping, and y'all going to be eating free, and you're going to be doing things, we're going to be selling cars like candy bars. Come give us a try because we're going to save you some money that day.
And eggs.
Boy, I get pumped up. I get excited.
Tell me about the eggs before we go.
Oh, everybody knows eggs are cheap in the country.